Alright, hello and welcome everybody to the Ohio Valley Sim Sports 358 Modified Mayhem Tour. Tonight we are at Port Royal Speedway for race number 8. And a bit of a twist in tonight's event. Our points leaders, Chris Mills, not able to make it. Going to have to take 0 points on the night. And we're going to see our points race tighten up after tonight's event. Three and a half minutes remaining in our practice session before we go into some heat racing action. You see Dawson Contrail, he is up there in the points, but unfortunately this sounds like this may be his last race of the season. Currently sitting second in points after winning a number of races earlier this season. But going to see that lead slip away if he does not make any more races. But ladies and gentlemen, let's kick tonight off and get going on, and we will go with our opening ceremonies, starting with our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Alrighty, that brings us to the end of this practice session, getting ready to go with some green flag racing action here at Port Royal Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you followed our broadcast before, you may have noticed we added an extra little bit of a, or added the Canadian national anthem to that. Well, we have a newcomer to us today, Shaden Ackerman, coming out for the first time here in the Sim, or 358 Modified Mayhem Tour. And that young fellow there, he is a Canadian in this field of U.S. drivers. Right now we got 2 laps of single car qualifying going on as we follow along Cody Contrail in that 22 car, going up to start setting his first lap. A whole bunch of cars on track right now doing their qualifying run. 2 laps, single car. Set down the best time you can. That will seed your starting position for the feature races. As we have Jason Smith hopping to the top of the board really quickly. But there's a lot of shaking, a lot of moving going on. Cody Contrail that we're following along with, running 5th place right now. 19.54 is his best time. Daniel Northcutt on pole with a 19.26. See if Cody can improve upon his time, and he does, a 19.37. Right now, that's going to put him in 4th place. Daniel Northcutt falling a little bit behind, 19.36. That's not good enough to take the pole position away. Jason Smith will take that with a 19.18. We have all but 1 car, I believe. 2 cars, maybe. They are on track. Dawson Contrail, Aaron Murphy. As we see Dawson on track right now, kind of seems like he might be having some connection issues though. See what he does his first time across the line right here. Dawson will move himself up into the pole position. 19.05, a fast lap from that 21 car. Aaron Murphy, fast lap across the line, 19.19. That puts him up to 3rd position. As he gets into the wall going across for his 2nd lap, that's definitely not going to help him out. But 19.19, that's good enough to put him in 3rd place. And that should be everybody with a time now. Daniel Northcutt just parked on the back straightaway, finally towing back into the infield. Dawson Contrail, our fastest qualifier, 19.05, fast lap from that 21 car. And we will now get ready to go with some heat racing action here. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for heat race number 1. Dawson Contrail on the pole position. Aaron Murphy starting outside of row number 1. Then Aaron's brother David will be starting inside row number 2 with Cody Contrail starting outside of him. Justin Wahlberg in that 127 car will be starting inside of row number 3 with Nathan McCutcheon starting outside of him, bringing up the back of this 6-car field. As we get ready to go green flag racing here for the first time tonight. I believe these should be a 10-lap heat race. And it will determine our starting position for the inside row here at Port Royal Speedway for our feature race, which will be 40 laps around this short dirt oval. As these 6 cars get ready to go racing, going to have to keep an eye out. As huge thing with dirt tracks is there are multiple lanes, multiple places you could put that car. Some tracks have a preferred lane. I'm not sure what Port Royal likes as far as where you drive that car, so we're going to have to keep an eye on what line, lower, middle, or outside, will be faster. As we see the pace truck pulling off. Field in the hands of Dawson Contrail on the front of this pack with Aaron Murphy outside of him. Going to be a long ways back around. They got to wait for that green flag to fly before they can go racing. They come out of turn 4 waiting for that flagger to show them that green. That flagger being very patient tonight, and there it is. Green flag in the air. Contrail with a good start, but still having some connection issues as we see him blinking out. But out to an early lead over Aaron Murphy. Cody Contrail, Nathan McCutcheon racing hard side by side as you see McCutcheon making contact with Murphy, trying to take second place away. They keep it straight, keep it going. McCutcheon making ground on that very low line on entry, slides up ahead of that 41 and takes second place away. Aaron having to settle for second or third place. Cody Contrail moving ahead to slightly ahead of Justin Walbring there for fourth. Now Cody's looking to take make a move around that 41 machine, looking to the inside. They are side by side coming off of turn 2. Cody just clears that 41, but Aaron looking to make the crossover. Cody anticipating that move, moves down and blocks that maneuver from being made. Cody up to third, Aaron down to fourth. At the front of this pack, Dawson Contrail out to a 1.5 second lead with 7 laps to go. Now make that 6. Definitely in his control right now this race. He can dictate the pace of this event, or at least of this heat race. But he keeps running where he is. He's going to have a good start spot for the feature. Aaron Murphy falling back just a little bit. Nathan McCutcheon and Cody Contrail looking to start a little bit of a battle for second place here, as we're now a little past halfway in this heat race. Cody Contrail still holding on to third place. Nathan McCutcheon in second place. Cody Contrail trying to reel him in. Take a look at the back of this pack here. Justin Walbring running in 5th place, running fairly clean, nice, quiet laps here. Just doing what he's got to do to keep that car in one piece for the feature. David Murphy a little ways behind him. At the front of the pack, though, Dawson Contrail consistently opening that lead up, now almost 2.5 seconds. But that car keeps blinking out on him. That is not what we want to see, as we got a battle for second going on. Cody Contrail has caught up to Nathan McCutcheon. As I say that, he gets a little crossed up, makes a little contact with that outside wall. Allows McCutcheon to drive away and puts him in the grasp of that 41 car of Aaron Murphy. 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag right here. One more time around this track for Dawson Contrail. Dawson just has to drive clean like he has been this entire heat race. Nathan McCutcheon should have second place wrapped up as well as we go to 3 and 4. Dawson Contrail will take the checkered flag and win heat race number 1. Nathan McCutcheon will hold on over Cody Contrail for second. Aaron Murphy bringing up third. David Murphy made a move somewhere on Walbring and took 5th place away, but makes a mistake coming off turn 4. Manages to get across the line just ahead of that 127 machine of Justin Walbring to hold on to 5th place. Now let's get ready for heat race number 2, which will determine the outside starting line. 5-car heat race here. And our starting lineup will be Jason Smith on the pole position with Daniel Northcutt in that 77 machine on his outside. Timothy Dunn will be in the inside of row number 2 with Isaac Fox starting outside of him. Bringing up the back of this pack is our newcomer to the league, Shaden Ackerman, who is a little bit slow getting off the line. Good to see Shaden catching up, our lone Canadian in this field. Hopefully he does good as a fellow Canadian. I'm going to be rooting for Shaden in that 23 machine to have a good first outing here tonight. But he's got some stout competition to work against. Daniel Northcutt, the Contrail brothers are all very fast. We got a number of fast cars in this field tonight. As we see the pace truck pull off once again, a long ways around to get through this. At least it feels long when you're doing pace speed, going around that last half of the back straightaway into 3 and 4, and now waiting on the flagman to show that green flag. These guys not seem to be as patient, taking off right out of the exit of turn 4. Jason Smith out to an early lead over Daniel Northcutt. Timothy Dunn taking advantage of that lower line pace, pulling up along the inside of that 77 machine. In fact, he is looking to take the lead away from our leader, Jason Smith. Gets a little crossed up. That's going to slow his momentum down. Isaac Fox looking to get up in on this as well, getting up there into third place, just ahead of Daniel Northcutt. Timothy Dunn not able to complete the move on later. Jason Smith, in fact, now he is going to lose one position to Isaac Fox. Isaac coming from the near back of this pack here, up into second place as we got Timothy Dunn going around, getting into Daniel Northcutt, sending them to the inside wall. Shaden Ackerman catching up to these guys. Not able to get up there and take advantage of the mistake that was made here as he gets a little crossed up going into turn 3 there. All that action, though, benefited Jason Smith and Isaac Fox. They're out to a big lead over the rest of the field now. Jason Smith, a 1 second gap behind him to Isaac Fox, and it's 2.93 seconds back to third place from Isaac Fox. That third place being Timothy Dunn. Shaden Ackerman moving up into fourth now that Daniel Northcutt seemingly having damage from that incident. Daniel going into pit road. That will end his run in this heat race. There are no cautions, so his only chance is for someone else to have an issue here in the next lap or two, so and allow him to come back out. But I doubt we'll see that 77 machine back out before the feature race. Halfway through this feature race, now 4 laps to go. Jason Smith out to the lead. Isaac Fox was slowly reeling him in. We're down to about an 0.8 of a second gap between our two lead cars. As we see Fox is wrapping right down to that inside wall, taking the shortest possible route around this track. Jason Smith preferring about that mid lane. But both cars finding a little bit of speed here. One lap, Fox closes the gap down a little bit. The next lap, Jason opens it back up. Timothy Dunn here, once again, running a completely different line from our two leaders, running right up on that outside, right up against those marbles, up on that berm. Trying something a little different. But the fight right now here is for the lead. 1 second between the two as we have 2 laps to go in this heat race. Jason still preferring that middle lane. Isaac still wrapping that left front up against that inside wall. White flag in the air. One more lap around Port Royal Speedway. Jason Smith in the lead, in control. In fact, we are seeing that gap opening back up. Isaac Fox trying different things, trying to find some pace around this track, but not having any luck. Smith coming across the line to win heat race number 2. As it seems my overlays are now giving more issues. They've been working pretty good tonight, but I don't know what's going on. They decided they are not going to want to cooperate, so I do apologize for that. We are going to go into a 3-minute warm-up session here. A final chance for these guys to feel out the changes in this track and see where they might find a little bit of speed in this event for our 40-lap feature. Already we're seeing a bit of a reduction in pace on the track. Dawson Contrail on top of the leaderboard at the moment. His best lap being a 19.3. He ran a 19.05 in our initial practice session, but the more laps ran on this track, the slower it will go because they are taking traction out of that dirt, adding rubber into it, packing it down, taking the moisture out, and that's going to slow these cars down ever so slightly. Looks like my overlays may have returned at least momentarily. We are under a minute remaining in this warm-up session here. Dawson Contrail still on the top of the leaderboard with a 19.30. Cody Contrail, his brother, with a 19.36. And we got our last heat race winner, Jason Smith, running a 19.61. A loss of about 0.3 of a second on this track already, and we still have 40 laps to run out here tonight. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, our warm-up is finished. These guys have gotten all the practice they're going to get tonight. We are about to go green flag racing for 40 laps around here at Port Royal Speedway. Let's take a look at our 11-car field for tonight's events. On pole position, Dawson Contrail in that 21 car with Jason Smith starting on his outside. Inside of row number 2, we see that 088 car of Nathan McCutcheon with Isaac Fox starting outside of him. Row number 3 sees Dawson's brother, Cody Contrail, in that 22 machine with the 03 of Timothy Dunn. Aaron Murphy brings up row number 4 with Shaden Ackerman starting outside of him. Row number 5, we'll see David Murphy in that 18 car, brother of Aaron Murphy, with Daniel Northcutt not having a strong run in his heat race, getting into an incident, damaging his car, going to pits for repairs. Starting outside of row 5. And then bringing up the back of this field, Justin Walbring, after a solid run in his heat race, having an issue that we did not catch, starting at the back of the pack. Or finishing at the back of the pack in his heat race, and now as a result we'll be starting at the back of the field for this 40 lap feature. Getting ready to go green flag racing. Pace truck is off. Field in the hands of Dawson Contrail. Jason Smith for that long trek around the back straightaway down through 3 and 4. Getting ready to go green flag racing here. 40 laps at Port Royal Speedway, and they are off. Dawson Contrail with a good start over Jason Smith, pulling out to an early lead. Smith wait to that outside line. Cody Contrail making up some positions on that bottom through, trying to look for second, not able to get there to Smith. Aaron Murphy fighting to hold on to his ground there, but he is losing positions at the moment. Falling back as we are under caution. Appears there was a little bit of an incident at the back of the pack. Let's take a look at our instant replay to see what happened. David Murphy, Justin Walbring. Looks like there may have been some contact here. As we see Murphy get into shade and Ackerman, Justin Walbring not having anywhere to go. David making solid contact with that inside wall. Walbring should be alright. Should have kept that contact to an absolute minimum with any luck. But that's going to be a re-rack, a restack for this field to get ready to go back green flag racing here. Barely a lap into tonight's event and we're already under yellow number 1. But we're getting ready to go back green flag race, and you see the cars doubling up. Pace truck pulling off. Now the field is back in the hands of Dawson Contrail for that long trek around 3 and 4. Back to green flag action. Dawson Contrail getting back out to an early lead. Nathan McCutcheon, Jason Smith running second and third, and McCutcheon maneuvering up past Smith for the second place. Smith not looking to lose too many more positions, but Isaac Fox slipping through on the bottom line there. Smith fighting back on that outside line. You can see the rubber starting to add up on the top of this racetrack. As Isaac Fox moves up into third position here. McCutcheon trying to reel in our race leader, Dawson Contrail. Going to settle in second for the moment. Jason Smith fighting, bringing the fight back to Isaac Fox there. Looking to the inside. Fox getting a little bit too sideways. We got a caution again on the track. Take a look at our instant replay here. Looks like we got a car getting a little bit sideways. Got all kinds of action going on all over the track here, but not sure exactly what's going on to bring out the caution. See Northcutt on the inside there. We see Northcutt get into the 0-3 of Timothy Dunn and turn him around. That will be what brought out our caution flag for the second time tonight. But we are once again getting ready to go back green flag racing. Pace truck pulling off. Dawson Contrail back in control. Green flag on leader here. Dawson Contrail starting a little early in turn 4, trying to get that jump, and does so. Isaac Fox able to take advantage of it as well. Nathan McCutcheon was not quite ready for that leader to take off as early as he did, as we are 3 wide down the back straightaway for second place. Nathan McCutcheon, Isaac Fox, Jason Smith all fighting for that spot. Now they are side by side for third. Smith on the inside, Isaac Fox on the outside. Give that position to Smith. Smith trying to regain his ground there. Had a good starting position up in second. Now he is running third after losing a few positions. Daniel Northcutt getting a little crossed up there, having to check up for cars ahead of him. That's going to kill his momentum, allow Aaron Murphy to get to the inside of him. Side by side off turn 2 here for 6th position. Northcutt holding ground on that outside line there, but Murphy working on the inside, able to get around that 77 car and take 6th place away. At the front of the field, Dawson Contrail out to a lead, but not enjoying the runaway he did in the heat racing. Nathan McCutcheon is there and keeping him honest. A quarter of a second separates our leaders at this point right now, 9 laps into tonight's event. We're seeing that inside line seeming to be the preferred location on the track. We don't see too many cars running that higher line. But right now the field single filed out. No one really fighting overly hard for position. I think everyone realized that it's a decently long race here. 40 laps is going to take just a little bit of time. Kind of sitting down and logging some laps, seeing where the race will end up at the latter stages of the event. Cody Contrail here looking on Isaac Fox, trying to sneak 4th place away. Fox moving up into that higher entry, tempting Contrail to look low, but Fox swung down, diamonding that corner, trying to get the late apex, trying to get a good run off the corner. Contrail almost had his nose in there. That was almost a big moment there for these drivers. Luckily, Contrail saw that car coming down, was able to get out from below that 94 cars. We got a big stack up here. Big crash going on. And that's involving our leader, Dawson Contrail. Looks like they are catching up to the newcomer who gets sideways right in front of our leaders. Shaden Ackerman losing control of his car, coming off of turn number 4, right in front of our leaders, collecting a number of cars, but the big one is our race leader, Dawson Contrail, getting caught up. No fault of Dawson's there, just had nowhere to go. Let's hop on board with Dawson. See what Dawson sees. You see all that mud. Dawson obviously not pulling a tear off in a while there, and you just see that 23 car get turned sideways right in front of you. You just don't have time to react. That is going to shake up this race. Dawson Contrail now being scored 8th place on pit road. And that will hand the lead of tonight's race to Nathan McCutcheon in that 088 car. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, our restarts are on leader. They can go anytime after that pace truck pulls all 4 of its tires off the racing surface here. Now remember, ladies off the racing surface. Do remember too that pace laps do not count towards our race total laps. So Dawson obviously still had the lead when the caution came out, and will retain that lead after he went to pits and took some repair on his machine. So that will be an advantage to Dawson. Nathan not getting the advantage of having the leader get involved in that incident. as we see the pace truck pulling off one more time. Field back in the hands of Dawson Contrail in that 21 machine. Nathan McCutcheon on that outside row. Coming off turn 4, we see Dawson taking off. Nathan not anticipating that jump. Jason Smith trying to take advantage of that, but he has the door slammed in his face by McCutcheon. Our lead 5-6 cars here have separated themselves out. Cody Contrail being the first car side by side with Daniel Northcutt for position. Manages to sneak that position away, but Northcutt looking for the crossover. And that is successful. You see the moisture's coming out of this track. You see the cars kicking up dust as we see Aaron Murphy getting a little sideways a little bit back here, but holding on to the position. Timothy Dunn way to the inside. Aaron Murphy wrapping that outside line. Aaron not getting the momentum he wanted. Losing the position to that 03 car. Now he's holding off Justin Wahlberg in that 127 car. A lot of action going on in the back of this pack. Aside from having the cars around you battling you for that position, you got to contend with the lack of visibility from the cars in front of you, kicking up all this dust on you. Dawson Contrail out here to the lead over Nathan McCutcheon. McCutcheon now having the battle with Jason Smith and Isaac Fox. They are all there right behind him. McCutcheon trying to wrap that outside line. We have not seen that work too much here. Smith looking to the inside. He is now side by side with our second place driver coming down the front straightaway. We are seeing cars start to migrate to that outside line, but it seems when they're in traffic, that outside line is not working quite as well as we see Jason Smith move to the outside line. McCutcheon moving back to the inside, trying to regain second place away. We'll take it if he can slide up ahead, but Smith's going to pull the crossover move. Coming to the halfway mark of this race, Contrail out to the lead. Second place is battling with third and fourth for position, and this fighting between these guys is allowing our leader to pull away. It's been crossover after crossover for the last couple of laps between McCutcheon and Smith, but now Smith is kind of pulling ahead of that 088 machine just a little bit. And now they are opening the gap up over Isaac Fox, who's fallen back just a little bit here. A little further back, Daniel Northcutt, Cody Contrail looking to swap positions here for fifth. Northcutt has it, Cody wants it. Cody trying to swap down to that inside line. Now we see that groove's actually migrating up to that higher line. More and more cars are running that top side there. They must have ran as much good out of that bottom line as they could. Timothy Dunn on the lower side of the 41 car of Aaron Murphy trying to take 7th place away. Seeing more momentum forming on the outside line as we see Daniel Northcutt trying to defend from Cody Contrail on the inside. Contrail with the momentum on that outside line. Daniel Northcutt almost getting into the driver's side of that 22 car. That managing to keep things together, not getting into each other and keeping things straight. Give the position to Contrail though. At the front of the pack, Dawson Contrail still running away with this thing. 1.2 seconds ahead of second place, who is contending with third. Jason Smith in second, McCutcheon right on his back bumper, looking for a way around as we see McCutcheon dive to the inside. Not able to clear that 8 machine. For second, going to slot back in and lose a little bit of ground on that second place car. see Jason moving down a little bit, trying to close that door up on that 088 car. And now they migrate back to that outside line. Back here, this battle between Timothy Dunn and Aaron Murphy isn't over yet. Timothy got it. Aaron fighting back on that lower line, able to stay almost side by side off of turn 4, but Dunn having that little bit more momentum. Pulling just ahead of that 41 car. Walbring looking to get in on this battle between those two as well, as we see Timothy Dunn getting into that wall, allowing Murphy to get around him. And Walbring bringing the fight to that 03 car now for 8th place. Dawson Contrail still at the front of this pack, about 1.2, 1.3 seconds ahead. Smith still holding on to second, but still having to contend with that 088 car. A little bit of a gap opened up between them, but still not as much as Jason would like to see. Cody Concho, meanwhile, has caught up to Isaac Fox, is now laying on the pressure for 4th place. We saw that inside line work pretty well through the first half of this race. Now the last half, it seems to be the outside line, but Cody Concho diving to the inside, pulling this line job on Isaac Fox. Isaac trying for the crossover maneuver here, side by side down the back straightaway. Cody trying to pinch that 94 car off. They make some slight contact. That sends the Cody Concho car a little more sideways than he would like to be. But give the position to Cody. Cody getting a little bit more sideways in front of that 94 car. Slowed both their momentums down. But Cody managed to hold on to more momentum and allowed him to get ahead of that 94 machine. Meanwhile, the gap has opened back between second and third. In fact, that gap has been closing to the leader. Jason Smith has been reeling in Dawson Contrail for the last couple laps here. But as they come down the front straightaway to the line, they will only have 5 more laps around this track. Can Smith catch Contrail and tries to race him for the win? That gap continues to close. Smith running down some impressive lap times. This time across the line. Smith running a 20-second exact lap. Contrail running a 20.15. Smith is there. Can Dawson hold him off for these final 3 laps? Smith looking to the bottom of this racetrack. They are going to have some lap traffic here very shortly to contend with too, by the looks of it. Lap traffic may not be a factor with the 2.5 laps remaining. Smith looked to the inside, wasn't able to make it happen. Contrail to the outside, keeping that momentum. But Smith is there running some much faster lap times than our leader is currently. Through 1 and 2, Dawson on that outside line. Smith to the middle lane, trying to find a little bit something extra. As they come through 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. 1 more lap around this track. Dawson's got to fight to hold on to this win. Doing everything he can to keep that 8 car behind him. Does so well through 1 and 2. Has to do it 1 more time through 3 and 4. Smith elects to follow him, but Dawson bobbles a little bit. Smith almost makes a little bit of contact, but Dawson Concho will hold on for the win. Jason Smith just a little bit behind, going to settle for second place. Nathan McCutcheon holding on to 3rd place, and we'll have Cody Contrail, Isaac Fox rounding out our top 5, and then the remainder of our field will be Daniel Northcutt, Aaron Murphy, David Murphy, Justin Walbring, Timothy Dunn, Shaden Ackerman will not complete tonight's event. Unfortunate for Shaden. As we see our top 3 cars pulling down onto the front straightaway, get their podium picture. And now we will wait for these fellas to wrap up on track and come into the broadcast booth for a post-race interview. Great racing action tonight here from Port Royal Speedway. Dawson Contrail had that race in the bag from the start of from the drop of the green flag, but he did have to contend with Jason Smith, who was coming in a hurry. Dawson managed to hold on. But ladies and gentlemen, why don't we bring in our third place finisher, Nathan McCutcheon, there in that 088 car. Nathan, how's it going?
Going good. Kind of wish I would have gotten second, but...
Well, you definitely gave Jason a little bit of a run for his money there for quite a few laps in that middle to last 3 quarters of the race. But he managed to find a little bit of extra speed there. Were you able to learn something from when he started driving away, or what happened there?
Well, definitely, I definitely noticed when he started following Dawson that he was definitely pulling away from me, and so I tried following him and kind of kept up with him a little bit, but it was too late then. Just kind of...
Well, and we definitely saw from the beginning of the race to the end that the preferred line absolutely migrated from that very bottom line to maybe the middle of the track, and then all of a sudden that outside line came in. At what point did you notice the change in the track there that allowed that to happen?
Well, I want to say around halfway, it kind of, popped into my brain. Try the top, and then somehow it was faster. I tried the bottom a few more times, and top 2 just pulled away from me when I tried it. But top was definitely the preferred line at the second half of the race.
Well, there's definitely a saying in all forms of racing that sometimes you just got to go where the competition isn't. And unfortunately tonight, apparently, the first half of that race was the outside line or the inside line, and the outside came in. The last half came in clutch. So, sometimes going where the competition isn't quite what you need, is it?
No, definitely not. When no one else is there, and you try to go it, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. In this case, it was not good. It wasn't bad either, but it wasn't good.
Well, either way, Nathan, you had a pretty solid run tonight. You started 3rd place. You managed to stay there. Oh, excuse me. I'm sure you got a few people on that car on your team there that you want to give a shout out there for helping you make that car quick.
All my 2025 sponsors, Cintas, Gapbacks, Allegheny Truck Body, Blanket Hill Speedway, Northeast Outlaw Invasion, Hyper Racing, Advent Communications, KeyBank. Probably missing a few, but that's all I can think of at the top of my head. MEI, Cutchin Enterprises, obviously. Yep.
Kind of hard to keep all the sponsors straight when you got a whole laundry list to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to, over the past few weeks, I've been trying to read over them in my head over and over and try to memorize them, but...
Well, we definitely saw a good run out of you tonight, Nathan. There, hopefully we continue that momentum going forward through the remainder of the season, and I wish you luck through that remainder of the season.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was our 3rd place finisher, Nathan McCutcheon, there in that 088 car. But let's drop off a couple of numbers here. Bring in the driver of that number 8 car, Jason Smith, finishing 2nd tonight, Jason, and just all of a sudden there in that last about 10 or so laps, it's like you found a second gear in a car that should only have one.
Dude, my heart is still beating so fast. I mean, yeah, we were just talking about it in the other channel. It seemed like he had a good run on me in 1 and 2, and I couldn't really catch him. We kind of stayed even. But he said in 3 and 4, I was kind of just blasting on his rear bumper. But no, that was, I don't know what I did. We kind of had a different entry method into 3 and 4. So I don't know. It worked. I don't think I would have ever gotten by him on that last lap. I just kind of Hail Married it, almost took him out, had to let off, got him to the wall. It's fine though. That was a good race. That was a lot of fun.
Well, we were definitely watching that there. You went from that, from about the halfway point to the three-quarter point of that race. You're battling Nathan behind you. You had to fend him off. He was giving you a pretty good run for your money, and like I said, then all of a sudden you found an extra gear in that car. You drove away from Nathan and caught up to Dawson, who was over a second ahead. And I was watching the lap times there, Jason. You were running about 2.5 to 0.3 of a second quicker lap times until you got to that back bumper.
Yeah, he knew how to break my momentum. He's good at that, him and his brother. But yeah, no, the first half of that race with Nathan in front of me, he kind of smoked the inside wall at one point. Must have damaged something because he kind of lost some grip. Then he saw Dawson run the top at one point, and he tried it himself and just kind of missed the entry a bit. So I just dove under and hoped that it would stick, and luckily it did. Made for a good race in the end, I will say that.
Absolutely. I thought Dawson was going to run away when you guys started fighting for second there, but then, yeah, you drove away, you caught up to Dawson, you gave him a run for his money to the line, and made it an exciting race right down to the last second. So, congratulations and thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that was... I still can't recover from that. It's going to take me a few hours.
You know what? People say this is only a game, and there are people out there that will crucify you for calling iRacing a game, but I've been in many a race myself where you get into that heat of the battle, and it is just a shaking. You just vibrate after for the next half hour to an hour.
Yeah, those last 2 laps, my heart was out of my chest.
Absolutely. Well, you put on a great show out there, Jason. I'm sure you got a few names on that car you want to give a shout-out to.
No, actually, I hate them all. I'm too fast.
Drove too fast, you rubbed the decals off, huh?
Yep, I don't even know who they are anymore.
All right, Jason. Well, in that case, I'll let you go unless you remember one of the names. But you know what? Congratulations on second place. Thanks for putting on a show for us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this fella here looked like he had that race under wraps right up until the last 5 or so laps, and then all of a sudden he had company. Dawson, how are you feeling right now?
A lot better now that that race is over.
Well, you had that race wrapped up. You're at a very comfortable lead. What was going through your mind when you looked at that relative and saw that 1.2, 1.3 second all of a sudden just going down to 1 to 0.9 to 0.8 to like right on your bumper?
Well, about I want to say lap 20 to lap 30, I moved up to the top of 1 and 2, and there was a lot of speed up there, and then 3 and 4, he was catching me a little bit in 3 and 4, and I was trying to figure that out. I got to the point where the slaughter line was woken until them mobiles went away in the middle, and then I figured might as well let it hang out on the top. And it was good for a little bit, but it was hard to stay consistent up there as he was pulling away, or he was catching me a little bit. And then a mistake later, he's gaining, then right on my bumper. I was waiting for the slider on the last lap there, but
well, he definitely said he
lucky.
tried to get in there, tried to get up, and he almost made contact, managed to keep it straight, keep it off of you, but definitely put on a show for that final couple laps for the fans to watch.
Definitely. He was definitely coming. He had a lot of speed. About 10 more laps, he would have had me.
Absolutely. It would have been a very, very tight fight between the two of you. Dawson, you definitely were running some solid laps, but he definitely found a little bit of speed in those last 5-10 laps to catch up to you. But I'm sure you got a few names you got to shout out on that car for helping you build a car that was able to hold off that run.
Yeah, definitely. Black Shadow Speed Labs, Check Racer Apps, Control Tire Lab, RX Fit, Night Courts, Restaurant and Lounge, Daniel Betts Performance, Cole Mitchell Racing, Lucas Performance, Owen Check Racing, Cole Mitchell Wraps. I'd like to thank Jameson Yakmack and T. Will for fixing my car when I had that incident with the lap car. I'd like to thank my mom for watching in the living room on Facebook or on YouTube on the live stream. I'd like to thank Cody for telling me to go up to the top, mid-race there, and finding a lot of speed up there. JR and Isaac for helping spot.
Definitely a long list of sponsors, but it takes more than just a couple of people to make a race car go fast usually. So, Dawson, congratulations once again on the win.
I will say one thing now. I don't know what's gotten into Jason Smith these past 2 weeks, but he's definitely figured something out, and that car's got a lot of speed. I'd watch out for that car at the end of the season. He's going to pick up a couple more wins if he keeps driving like that.
He has definitely found a little bit of speed for sure, and he did mention something that he was watching when you moved up to the top, and he saw something there, and he moved up with you, and he started coming. Yeah, he's been watching and he's been learning, so he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'd watch out for him, Chris. I mean, there's quite a few drivers in here, but those two predominantly has been pretty quick as of late.
Absolutely. Well, Dawson, I think we are going to leave it here. Congratulations once again on the win. I do hear, though, that this may be your last race this season that you're going to be able to make it out with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to end on a high note if it is. Next week is my first race in real life with the coding, and then the week after that I know I'm racing, and after that I'm not really sure the schedule, but I'll try to make it in here if I got an off week, but
well, hopefully we can see you
happens.
back out here.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put on good races. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, congratulations once again, Dawson. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Yep, thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to an end for tonight's event. I am Tom Quiring. Thanks to everyone for joining in and watching us. It's been the Ohio Valley Sim Sports 358 Modified Mayhem Tour. Let's see you next week. I can't recall where we will be racing, but I will bring that up when we can get there. Thank you for joining. See you next week.